There's a moment right before transformation when everything feels uncertain. You're standing in a space where things aren't quite falling apart, but they're definitely not coming together either. It's uncomfortable, it's frustrating, it's the wilderness before the promised land. But what if I told you that this discomfort isn't a sign of failure? It's a sign that something big is coming. See, when God is about to shift your life in a major way, He doesn't just send a calendar invite with a clear timeline. No, He prepares you, He stretches you, He removes what no longer serves you, even when you want to hold on. Have you ever had a moment in life where everything seemed to be going well, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, the doors started closing? The opportunities you thought were a sure thing disappeared. That job you were banking on, they chose someone else. That relationship you thought would last, it fell apart. That plan you had so meticulously laid out, it crumbled before your eyes. And in that moment, it's easy to feel abandoned, forgotten, maybe even punished. But what if I told you that when doors start closing in your life, it's not rejection, it's redirection. You see, we often pray for blessings, for growth, for new beginnings, but we rarely prepare for what those things require. Because the truth is, new beginnings require endings. Expansion requires pruning. And when God is about to do something big in your life, He doesn't just add, He subtracts. And let me tell you, subtraction doesn't always feel good. It feels like loss. It feels unfair, it feels confusing. But what if that closed door wasn't meant to trap you, but free you? Think about it. If God allowed you to walk through every door you wanted, where would you be? Would you have settled for that relationship that wasn't truly meant for you? Would you have stayed in that job that drained you instead of stepping into your purpose? Would you have missed out on something greater just because you were too afraid to let go? See, we look at closed doors and think they are obstacles, but God sees them as guidance. He knows the end from the beginning. He sees the path you can't see yet. And sometimes the only way to get you to the right destination is to block the road that leads in the wrong direction. Think of it like this. If you were driving to a beautiful destination and suddenly the road ahead was blocked, you might be frustrated. You might feel like you're wasting time. But what if that blocked road was actually keeping you from danger? What if the detour led you to something even better than you had planned? This is what happens when doors close. God is not taking something from you, He's leading you to something greater. But here's the tricky part. We don't always see it that way in the moment. Because faith means trusting the process even when we don't understand it. Faith means believing that closed doors are a sign of protection, not punishment. So if you're in a season where doors are closing, I want you to shift your perspective. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is God preparing me for? Instead of begging for the old door to reopen, get ready for the new one that's about to appear. Because when one door closes, another one always opens. And when God is the one orchestrating the shift, you can be sure that the new door will lead you exactly where you were meant to be. Have you ever felt an unshakable restlessness deep inside? A feeling that there's more to do, more to be, more to experience. But you can't quite put your finger on it. It's like a stirring in your spirit, an invisible push that whispers, this is not it. There's something greater ahead. That's divine restlessness. It's not anxiety, it's not impatience, it's not just feeling dissatisfied with where you are, it's something deeper. It's God moving within you, nudging you, preparing you for a shift you may not even see coming yet. Why does this happen? When God is about to bless you with something big, He first prepares your spirit for it. And one of the ways He does this is by making you uncomfortable with where you are. Think about it. If everything always felt good, if you were always perfectly content in your current situation, you'd never move. You'd never grow. You'd never step into the next level that God has planned for you. Divine restlessness is the spiritual equivalent of an eagle nudging its young out of the nest. At first it seems cruel. Why force something out of a place of comfort? But the eagle knows that if the young one never experiences discomfort, it will never spread its wings and learn to fly. So when you start feeling restless, when you start waking up with a sense that something is missing, when the things that once fulfilled you no longer do, it's not a sign of something wrong. It's a sign that something new is on the horizon. The signs of divine restlessness. You feel a deep stirring in your spirit. You wake up in the morning with this inner pull like you're being called to something more, but you don't quite know what it is yet. You start questioning things, your purpose, your direction, your current path. It feels like your soul is longing for something beyond what your eyes can see. Your usual routines no longer satisfy you. The things that used to excite you now feel empty. Your job, your daily habits, even your friendships may begin to feel too small for who you are becoming. You feel like you've outgrown your current space, like you're wearing shoes that are too tight. You have a sense that change is coming. You can't explain it logically, but you know something is shifting. It's like your spirit is ahead of your reality, sensing what your mind hasn't caught up to yet. You start noticing signs, confirmations, and little nudges everywhere. You feel discontent, but not in a negative way. It's not frustration, it's not bitterness, it's not a lack of gratitude, it's a holy discontent. A deep knowing that while you are thankful for where you are made for more. Doors start closing and new paths start appearing. Opportunities you once depended on may disappear. People you were once close to may start drifting away, but in the midst of it, new opportunities, new ideas, and new directions begin to emerge. What should you do when you feel divine restlessness? Don't ignore it. This restlessness is a gift. It's God's way of preparing you for what's next. The worst thing you can do is suppress it or convince yourself to settle. Pray for clarity. If you're feeling this way, it's time to get closer to God. Ask Him, what are you preparing me for? What do you want me to do next? Take steps of faith even if you don't have all the answers yet. Start preparing for this shift. Maybe it's time to learn a new skill, step out of your comfort zone, or take a leap in faith towards something you've been afraid to pursue. Trust the process. Just because you don't see the full picture yet doesn't mean nothing is happening. Divine restlessness means movement is happening in the spiritual realm before it manifests in the physical realm. Have you ever felt like just when you were getting closer to a breakthrough, life suddenly hit you with obstacles from every direction? It's as if the moment you decide to move forward, everything starts working against you. Finances get tight, relationships become strained, unexpected losses happen, and even your confidence begins to shake. This isn't a coincidence, it's a sign. When God is about to bless you with something big, He often allows uncommon challenges to come your way, not to break you, but to build you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because the truth is, the size of your battle is often an indication of the size of your blessing. Let's break this down. Why do these challenges happen? To test your faith. Faith is easy when everything is going well, but real faith is tested in the fire. God wants to see if you will trust Him even when things don't make sense, even when the road gets tough, even when you don't understand why you're facing these battles. Just like gold is refined by fire, your faith is strengthened through trials. To develop your strength, the challenges you face today are preparing you for what's coming next. Think about a weightlifter. If they never lift heavy weights, their muscles won't grow. The same is true for you. God allows challenges so you can develop the endurance, wisdom, and resilience you will need for the next level of your life. Your future blessings require a stronger version of you. To shift you out of your comfort zone, Sometimes we get too comfortable where we are, even when God has more for us. Challenges push us to grow, to seek God more deeply, and to develop new skills and strengths that we never would have if life had been easy. To expose weaknesses before the blessing arrives sometimes, we're not as ready for the next level as we think we are. Challenges reveal where we still need growth, whether it's in patience, discipline, trust, or character. God loves you too much to give you something you're not ready for, so he allows tests to refine and strengthen you first. Signs of uncommon challenges. If you're experiencing one or more of these challenges, take heart. It means God is up to something big in your life. Sudden and intense opposition the moment you step into something new. Obstacles seem to appear out of nowhere. People who once supported you may start doubting you. Unexpected roadblocks show up just as you're making progress. Increased spiritual warfare. You feel an increase in fear, doubt, and discouragement. Negative thoughts bombard your mind more than usual. You feel spiritually drained, like you're being attacked on every level. The enemy knows you're close to a breakthrough, so he works overtime to make you give up. Unexplainable delays, everything takes longer than expected. Opportunities that seemed like a sure thing suddenly fall through. You feel stuck, like no matter how hard you try, nothing is moving forward. Emotional and mental struggles, you feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and tempted to quit. The things that once motivated you don't feel the same. You start questioning if you're even on the right path. A season of loss or isolation, friendships shift, relationships end, and people who were once close to you start drifting away. You feel alone, misunderstood, or like no one else can see what you're going through. God often removes certain people from your life before he blesses you with new connections that align with your purpose. How to handle uncommon challenges. Stay anchored in faith. This is the moment to stand firm. When everything in your life seems uncertain, your faith must remain unshaken. Declare, God, I trust you even when I don't understand. I believe you are working all things together for my good. Pray and seek God like never before. These challenges are not meant to break you, but to draw you closer to God. Get intentional about prayer, fasting, and reading the Word. Your breakthrough is connected to your spiritual discipline. Refuse to quit. The enemy's greatest weapon is discouragement. If he can get you to quit before the blessing arrives, he wins. Keep pushing forward, even if you feel like you're moving slowly. Progress is still progress. Shift your perspective. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is God trying to teach me? Every challenge carries a lesson. Look for the growth, not just the struggle. Surround yourself with the right people. Find people who encourage you, pray for you, and remind you of your purpose. Avoid negativity and those who drain your energy during this critical season. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt completely stuck? Like you had run out of options, run out of strength, and run out of answers? You tried everything you could think of, but nothing was working. And just when you were about to give up, out of nowhere, help arrived. That's unexpected help, divine assistance showing up exactly when you need it, often in ways you never saw coming. When God is about to bless you with something big, one of the clearest signs is that you will start receiving help from unexpected places. People you never met before will offer solutions. Doors you didn't even knock on will open. Resources you didn't even ask for will appear. This is not luck. It's not coincidence, it's divine orchestration. Let's break this down. Why does God send unexpected help? To show you that you're not alone. Sometimes we carry burdens as if everything depends on us. We feel the pressure to figure things out alone. But God never intended for you to walk this journey by yourself. He will send the right people at the right time to remind you that He is in control. To strengthen your faith when help shows up unexpectedly, it reminds you that God is working behind the scenes. It proves that even when you can't see the solution, He is already making a way. To shift you in the right direction, sometimes we pray for one thing, but God sends something even better. Unexpected help often comes in the form of redirection, leading you to places and opportunities you never considered. To fulfill His promise to provide, God is a provider, and He has promised to take care of you. Even when it looks like there's no way forward, He will supply what you need. Not always in the way you expect, but always at the right time. Signs of unexpected help on the way. People start showing up in unusual ways. Someone you barely know gives you the exact advice you needed. A stranger offers an opportunity that aligns perfectly with what you've been praying for. You suddenly meet someone who has the skills, connections, or wisdom to help you move forward. Financial or material blessings appear out of nowhere. You receive unexpected financial support, maybe a refund, a gift, or a job opportunity. A debt you were struggling with is suddenly canceled or resolved. A resource you couldn't afford is provided for you in an unexpected way. You get an answer to a problem you couldn't solve. You've been struggling with a decision, and suddenly clarity comes. You've been looking for a solution, and then seemingly by chance, you find exactly what you need. What felt impossible suddenly becomes possible. Doors open that you didn't even knock on. You get an invitation or opportunity you never applied for. Someone recommends you for something without you even asking. You receive an unexpected breakthrough that aligns perfectly with your purpose. Biblical examples of unexpected help: Elijah and the widow, 1 Kings 17:17-16. During a famine, God told Elijah to go to a widow in Zarephath for food. But when he arrived, she had nothing left, only a little flour and oil. Yet as she obeyed God's instruction, the flour and oil never ran out. God provided in a way that neither of them expected. The Good Samaritan, Luke 10:25-37. A man was beaten and left for dead on the side of the road. The people he expected to help him walked past, but then an unlikely helper, a Samaritan, came, cared for him, and provided everything he needed. God often uses unexpected people to deliver His help. Peter's fishing miracle, Luke 5:01, and Luke 10:5 in Luke. Abraham is called to fish the sea. Fisher is ready to give up. But Jesus told him to cast his net on the other side, and suddenly he caught more fish than his boat could hold. The blessing came at the moment of obedience, right when he least expected it. How to recognize and receive unexpected help. Be open to new people and opportunities. Help doesn't always come from where you expect it. Stay open to new connections, ideas, and directions. You never know where God's help will come from. Trust God's timing. Sometimes help comes later than you wanted, but exactly when you need it. Don't panic when things seem uncertain. Trust that God is working on your behalf. Stay grateful and acknowledge God's hand. When help arrives, don't chalk it up to luck. Recognize it as God's provision. Gratitude opens the door for even greater blessings. Help others when you can sometimes. God uses you to be the unexpected help in someone else's life. When you are a blessing to others, you create a cycle of divine provision. Have you ever been in the middle of a storm, not a physical one, but an emotional, mental, or spiritual storm where everything around you seemed to be falling apart, yet somehow, deep inside, you felt calm? Have you ever faced uncertainty, difficulty, or even loss, but instead of panicking, you felt a sense of unexplainable peace? That's not ordinary, that's deep inner peace amid chaos, and it's one of the clearest signs that God is about to do something big in your life. This kind of peace doesn't come from the absence of problems. It doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from knowing at the core of your being that God is in control. Why does God give you peace in chaos? To prepare you for what's coming before a big breakthrough, life often feels like it's being shaken. Old structures collapse. Familiar routines get disrupted and the future looks uncertain. But instead of feeling fear, you begin to feel peace. It's as if God is whispering, "Don't worry, I've got this. Just hold on." To strengthen your faith, anyone can feel peaceful when life is going well. But true faith is tested when nothing makes sense, yet you still trust God. God allows moments of chaos to teach you that peace doesn't come from circumstances, it comes from Him, to show you that He is in control. The world may be in turmoil, people may be unpredictable, and situations may seem impossible, but God remains unshaken. His peace reminds you that even if everything around you seems unstable, He is still holding your life together to give you supernatural strength. Peace is power. When you're at peace, you think clearer, you make better decisions, and you have the strength to endure. The enemy wants you to be anxious, afraid, and restless, but when God gives you peace, nothing can shake you. Signs that you have deep inner peace amid chaos. You are facing a storm, but you're not panicking. The situation around you may be chaotic. Maybe you're dealing with financial struggles, health issues, or personal loss, but somehow you're not overwhelmed. Instead of falling apart, you feel a quiet confidence that everything will be okay. You feel a sense of calm even when things don't make sense. People around you may be worried, but you have a stillness in your heart. You can't explain why, but you just know that things will work out in the end. You are able to make clear decisions without fear. Instead of reacting in anxiety, you are thinking with wisdom. You are making choices not based on pressure, but on faith and clarity. You are letting go of things you can't control. You stop trying to force things to happen. You surrender your worries to God and trust that He is working behind the scenes. You feel a stronger connection to God. Instead of running away from God in hard times, you feel drawn closer to Him. You spend more time in prayer, worship, and reflection, not out of desperation, but because His presence brings you comfort. Biblical examples of deep inner peace amid chaos. Jesus calming the storm, Mark 4:35-40. 1, the disciples were in a boat when a fierce storm arose. They panicked, thinking they would drown. But Jesus, He was asleep in the boat, completely at peace. When He woke up, He simply said, "Peace, be still," and the storm stopped. This shows us that true peace is not about avoiding storms, but about trusting the one who can calm them. Paul in prison, Philippians 4:6-7. Paul was in prison facing an uncertain future, yet he wrote about having peace that surpasses all understanding. He taught that we shouldn't be anxious, but instead we should pray and trust God, and His peace will guard our hearts. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire, Daniel 3:16-27. These 3 men faced execution in a fiery furnace for refusing to bow to an idol. Yet, instead of fear, they stood firm, saying, "Our God is able to deliver us, but even if He does not, we will not bow." Their peace came from knowing that God was in control, whether He rescued them or not. How to maintain deep inner peace during chaos. Stay rooted in God's promises. When life feels uncertain, remind yourself of what God has promised. Scriptures like Isaiah 26:3, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in You," will anchor you. Pray instead of worrying. When anxiety tries to take over, stop and pray. Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Let go of what you can't control. Peace comes when you stop trying to handle everything on your own and surrender it to God. Trust that even if you can't see the solution, He is already working things out. Surround yourself with peaceful influences. Stay away from negativity, fear-driven conversations, and chaotic environment. Fill your space with worship, uplifting messages, and reminders of God's faithfulness. Keep moving forward in faith. Don't let fear paralyze you. Keep taking steps forward, even if you don't have all the answers yet. Peace is not passive. It's the quiet confidence that allows you to keep going, knowing that God is leading the way. When God is about to give you something big, he doesn't just drop it into your life without preparation. He sends signs, clear, undeniable shifts in your circumstances, mindset, and spiritual journey to let you know that a transformation is taking place. You will notice doors closing, not as a rejection, but as a divine redirection towards something greater. You will feel divine restlessness pushing you out of your comfort zone and into alignment with his plan. Uncommon challenges will arise, not to break you, but to refine you for the blessings ahead. Then, in the midst of it all, unexpected help will appear, divine connections, resources, and opportunities you never saw coming. Through it all, you will experience deep inner peace amid chaos, a peace that doesn't make sense to the world, but is God's way of reassuring you, I am with you, keep going. So if you find yourself in a season of transition, uncertainty, or even struggle, these signs are not obstacles, they are confirmations that you are on the verge of something great. The waiting season, the refining season, the stretching season, it's all leading to a breakthrough that is bigger than anything you could have imagined. God is not just giving you something big, he is making you ready for it. Trust the signs, trust the process, and most of all, trust God. Your blessing is closer than you think. Keep walking in faith, it's on its way.